Web of Stories. My name is Melinda. This is take 2 of this video, not for my usual reason that I recorded and wasn't, or thought I was recording and talked for 10 minutes, but because my father kept trying to call while I was filming this, and I film on my phone. So finally I just said, fine, I will talk to him. But anyway, talk to my dad, all's good, except he lost a tooth. I wonder if the tooth fairy comes to see you if you're almost 85 years old. I don't know. Anyway, back on topic. Not quite on topic. Look at my new earrings. Aren't they cute? Oh, you don't know if you can see them. They're little bookshelves. I have a book haul. I have my complete August book haul here, and it's a biggie. So, as you know, I have bemoaned the size of my own TBR, and then I have made peace with it. Size of my own TBR. So I'm okay with the size of it, but I realized I need to kind of maybe not bring in so many books. Let's see, because I have 26 titles here. Yeah. 26 books, one of which I have already read and one I am currently reading. So that's like 24 and a half that I'm adding to my TBR. But oh well. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because you don't want to be here all day. And I don't have the ability to talk all day, believe it or not. So let's go through it. I'm going to start with the 2 audiobooks that I brought in this month. Obviously don't have physical copies, so look at the little graphic. The first one is Better Living Through Birding by Christian Cooper. If you are not aware, Christian Cooper is the gentleman. He is an African-American gentleman, and he was bird watching in Central Park a few years ago, and a woman called the police on him. There's that whole brouhaha. And he's gone. He now hosts a birding show on Discovery or National Geographic, one of them. But apparently his memoir is really great. So I got that. The second audiobook is the one I am currently listening to, which is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, narrated by Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is wonderful. Ann Patchett is wonderful. It's all good. You know this because odds are you're listening to it too. It seems like everybody's listening to it right now. So those are my 2 audiobooks. The rest are all physical books. And I'm going to almost go in the order I brought them in. I did have to group some a different way just so it makes sense, but I'm going to go through it quickly. The first book, and this is because of Angelia Read and Reread, is Hateship, Friendship, Courtship, Loveship, Marriageship by Alice Munro. In a previous blog, last month or something, I did a little thing where I went to a little free library and put a book in and looked for other books, but I didn't pick this book up. And she said, I should have picked this book up. So the next week when I went to drop off another book, this book was still there. So I grabbed it. So this is because of Angelia. I have not started it yet. And who knows when I'll start it. Then I have my book of the month selection for August, which is Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. I was looking forward to this one. I already have it on my high priority TBR for September. I will get 2 books in September because it's my birthday month and it's a milestone birthday. But I'm looking forward to this. I know some people have had maybe not some concerns about this book. I don't care. I'm just going in for a fun time. So whatever. I liked her first book, The Hacienda. A lot of people compared it to Mexican Gothic. I preferred it to Mexican Gothic. So I think this will be fun. It's vampires, you know. And then I have piles everywhere of my books. And then I bought this at my Friends of the Library bookstore, Alice Hoffman's Here on Earth. I love Alice Hoffman. This is not the only time you will see her in this video. I have not read this one. This was the Oprah one. I am not someone who really cares whether or not the sticker's there or not. Plus I paid $4 for this, so whatever. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this one is her retelling of Wuthering Heights. So that'll be interesting. And then I have an order from Blackwell's that I placed. So I have shown a few of these in a previous video. I can't remember exactly what I showed before or not, so you're going to see some of them again. So let me go through these. The first one is The Chosen by Elizabeth Lowry. I saw Katie Lumsden talk about this one, so I thought, ooh, that sounds interesting. This is about, yes, Thomas Hardy's wife. So I'm really interested to read that. I do not believe this is available in the US. I got Trust, which is available in the US, but I don't know if it's available in paperback, and it was cheaper to get it from Blackwell's. So I did get Trust. I have heard people either love this one or hate this one. So we'll see. I've never read Hernan Diaz before. And then I have a couple Booker long list books. And I'm going to tell you now, I kind of wish in retrospect I hadn't ordered these, only because I haven't heard great things about the long list in general. So we'll see. I'm going to give them a try. We'll see how it goes. The first one is Study for Obedience. I know this was someone's DNF, so this makes me a little concerned. It's not super long. We'll see. Maybe it worked for me. It just wasn't a book that worked for them. I'm going to go in with an open mind. And then I have How to Build a Boat. This is probably the one I'm most confident in of the 3 that I have here. So yeah, I haven't read these anyway. And I will tell you, I probably am not going to get them read before the shortlist is announced. But there you go. And then Pearl by Sean Hughes. I got this one. So, and these, as I said, this one's not yet. This is coming out in September in the US, but it's not in the US yet. So those are the 3 Booker long list books that I got. And now I have books from an order that I made at Birchbark Books in Minnesota. If you don't know, that is the bookstore that is owned by Louise Erdrich. It's also the bookstore that's the setting of The Sentence, which is a book I know people hate or they love. I'm someone who loved it. The first book, so this is really fun. This is A Council of Dolls by Mona Susan Power. This is a new release. After I got this book, I found out a friend of mine, her nephew's wife is this author's agent. She's mentioned in the book. So I'm like, oh. She's like, you know, one of her clients just came out with this book. And I'm like, oh, I just got that book. So this one, I'm probably going to save some of these for November because that's Indigenous Peoples Month. So, or I might just read them before then. I don't know, but I am looking forward to this one. These are all by Indigenous authors. Actually, there's that one. And then I have this one, which is Cherokee Rose by Tiya Miles. This just kind of looked like a fun one. I don't know anything else. I can't remember what it's about. I don't know. Oh, it's part ghost story, historical mystery. This looks good. So Cherokee Rose by Tiya Miles. And whenever I place an order at Birchbark, I always order some Louise Erdrich books because they come signed. If you get the books from there, except for one, the book's not signed, but they sent me a little plate with her signature. But the first one is LaRose, which I have not read yet. And then I got the Beet Queen. And this is the one that the book itself is not signed, but they sent me a plate with their signature in it. I have not read this one either. Louise Erdrich is an author I really like, but I still have a ways to go on her backlist. And then this was an interesting little book. This is a nonfiction book she wrote called Books and Islands in Ojibwe Country. This is more like a travelogue book, and I thought that'd be really interesting to read. So I got this one, and yes, it too is signed. So that's Birchbark. It's always dangerous when I put an order in at Birchbark. And now I have like 2 kind of standalone orders that I did. One was a pre-order that came in, and that is The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman, which of course I have already read. By the time this video goes out, that video will already be out. So I liked it. Great book. A book for me, but it's not a book for everybody for reasons that are explained in that video. And then, this is an interesting one. I ordered this from University of Nebraska Press. This is Freeland by Rose Wilder Lane. I could not find this in the interlibrary system at our library, so I decided just to go ahead and order it. I did read The Hurricane's Roar like a month ago, so I wanted to read this one. My friend was reading this, and she's like, oh yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting to read it. She was like, but I just read the most racist thing I've ever read in my entire life in this book. And so then, of course, I had to read it because, I mean, like, how bad is this? But then she compared it to the papoose incident in the book Little House on the Prairie, which I understand people read that as very racist. And I think that, yes, in some ways it's racist. I personally never read it as racist, although I see why it is now. And I think it is, but I think the incident itself, had it happened, was not. Anyway, long thing, which I will discuss when I read this book and discuss it. Hold on to the papoose thought. And finally, I have my order that I made at bookshop.org where I had the like 20% off your order for finishing the summer reading program. And then I got like duplicate of everything except for one book where I got triplicate. So with the exception of one book that I probably shouldn't have gotten at all because it's not released yet, my extras have been distributed. They've been dropped around town to little free libraries. So if you live in Hillsboro, Oregon, you could come looking for them. They're all on Book Crossing, so you'll see where they are on Book Crossing if you really want any of them. I'll tell you which little free library I put them in. But yeah, we got that taken care of. And the pre-orders that were included with this order, they fixed, so I will only get one copy of them, which is good. So the first two I got were a couple plays by Agatha Christie. I got The Mousetrap and Witness for the Prosecution. So The Mousetrap, I believe, is based on Three Blind Mice. I believe that's the story it's based on. I read the story it's based on. I believe that was titled Three Blind Mice. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I know the story it's based on cannot be published in the UK, which I think is really interesting. So I'll be reading this to see if it ends the same way. And then Witness for the Prosecution, I have not seen nor read, but I also got Agatha Christie, The Witness for the Prosecution, and Other Stories. So I can read the first short story, or I don't know if the short story or the play came first, whichever one. But I can read dramatic and I can read short story. This is the book I got 3 copies of. I don't know why just this one. But anyway, more Agatha Christie stories. I am sure that I have read some of the stories that are in here. So I need to go through and mark the ones that are in this collection that I still need to read. So then this next book is the one I probably shouldn't have because it's not actually released until September 5th. And that's why the extra copy I have, I'm not going to distribute until after September 5th. But that's Dancing into the Light, An Arab American Girlhood in the Middle East by Catherine K. Abdul-Baki. She grows up, and I'm not really sure if she's born in the US and then they take her to the Middle East. It looks like she was in Kuwait and Jerusalem. I'm not sure, but she lived both in that community, but also the American expat community in those countries. So this looks really interesting. This may be a nonfiction November pick for me. And then I'm actually really excited about this book. And this is also the book that I just dropped off today in a little free library. Half-Life of a Stolen Sister by Rachel Cantor. If you are in the know, you know what this book's about. It's about the Brontes. So I love the Brontes. I am a Bronte girl. So I'm really interested to read this one. And then finally, okay, I've got a pile of books there. We're going to hope they don't topple over. Finally, I have The Rooster House, My Ukrainian Family Story by Victoria Bellum. This is a memoir. The author was born in Ukraine, but she grew up in a Ukrainian American family in Chicago, and she now lives in Belgium. But anyway, I've been looking for a book by a Ukrainian author to read. I think I have one on my e-reader. I'm not sure. But anyway, I saw this. I'm like, I want to read that. Again, I may hold this for November, for Nonfiction November, when Olive comes out with her prompts. I didn't do the prompts last year, but I'm going to do them this year. We'll see what fits in. So that was quick. That was less than 15 minutes, and I went through my 26 books that I got. Oof, I need to rein that in. So, okay, hi, Melinda from the future. Just jumping in here to say, when I did this, I organized all the books in piles, so I would have like some sense out of this video, but I missed a pile. So I have 3 more books to add to this. These are all books that I bought at Powell's earlier this month. The first one is The Good Lord Bird by James McBride. I have never read James McBride. I do have Deacon King Kong on one of my e-readers, and I have A Suspended Hold on the Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. I think that's the title of it. But this is the one that he won the National Book Award for. So it was on sale, so I picked it up. And then I got this collection of short stories, Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata, who wrote Convenience Store Woman. I heard these are weird. So I figured, like, from what I've heard, Convenience Store Woman is like her least weird book. So I thought maybe short stories were a good entry into some of her weirder stuff. So, and my bookmark. I got to put this in my bookmark mug. So I got that one. And then this is another one. This was a complete impulse buy. It was also on sale. It's Miss Iceland by Auður Ava Ólafsdóttir. So it is an Icelandic book. She lives in Reykjavik. So I got this thinking, oh, this will be great for my Read Around the World challenge. I'll have Iceland taken care of. Completely forgetting the fact that I was and am actively reading a book from Iceland. But anyway, this looks like a nice change from the dark Scandinavian noir crime novels that I usually get. So I thought I would get this one. So yeah, those are the 3 books I forgot to include in the first video. I need to rein that in. So I am vowing to you all that I will do this again at the end of September, and hopefully will not be 26 books. Yeah, unless it's a birthday haul, but my family never gets me books for my birthday because I have enough. So Unless they might get me like a cookbook or something. But other than that, I usually don't get books as gifts. Yeah. So anyway, if you made it through this crazy haul, please give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.